Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Angry and Ornery Show. We're actually filming, taping, recording, whatever you want to call it. Episode 20. That's 20, which is surprising and shocking that we've made it this far. So, yay us. Next episode, 21st, will be legal, so maybe we can do something adult-oriented. I don't know. I'm just making that up. Anyways, welcome to the Angry and Ornery Show. I'm Zoltan Mint here in Second Life. We record this show in Second Life, and if you'd like to come to our studio, you are more than welcome. It's free, and it's fun, and we interact with the audience, so please come on down. We're in Staccato. That's the name of the sim, in a parcel called Beguile, a small town. And if you instant message me, I will give you a landmark to come in here and watch a show being taped. Also, we are available on live stream every other Wednesday, live. And that address and information is underneath this YouTube video. So in 2 weeks on Wednesday, every Wednesday night, right around 7 o'clock Pacific time, you will catch us live on live stream. And lastly, we will edit this, put some graphics in, and throw it up on YouTube, on our YouTube Angry and Ornery channel. Please subscribe to that, leave some comments, like it, or do whatever you need to do, but do something so we know that there's living people out there watching this. I really would like to hear some feedback. And I can get a lot of feedback from my co-host, Lionheart. Lionheart, come on out.
You know what I've realized after all this time? That I can walk behind your desk and get out here a lot easier and quicker than trying to go over all of the furniture.
Well, that would be proper stage etiquette. And if you would have learned that long ago, you wouldn't have been so sloppy looking.
Most of my proper stages had poles in them.
Oh, well. Why don't you sit down and we'll get the show started, because I have nowhere to go with that.
Okay. I do.
Yeah, that's the problem. So how have you been over the last couple of weeks?
I've been ducky and beautiful and fine and great and wonderful and fine and great, and my psychiatrist says I'm doing well.
You've been a beautiful, fine duck? Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, I've been a beautifully fine duck.
All right.
How are you?
I'm fine, actually, except getting old with all the aches and pains that entails, but I'm not here to whine. So why don't we jump into the show, because I think tonight's episode is going to be interesting, at least from my viewpoint, because I'm going to cover things that are never seen, but should be, which is kind of my theme.
Like my testicles?
Ah, wow. You know what? You're going down a dark road with that one, okay? So, and I know you kind of work on dark roads, don't you? But anyways, what's your theme? Or should I ask?
You shouldn't ask. Just don't even ask anymore. Just smile and nod, and that way, you know, when we go to court, you can always just say, I had no idea he was going to do that.
All right, let's see. If I go first, then who goes last? Me, then you, then me. You. How's that work? You said you had 2 items. I have 3, so I'll go first. All right?
Okay, that works for me.
All right. So this is real brand new and real fresh because of it just aired this week, and that would be the last week of January, actually, a week of the 26th and on. And I saw it advertised by flipping through the channels, and I took a chance and I recorded it. Lo and behold, I was shocked and surprised that the critics went nuts over this thing, and it actually got really high reviews. Got a 7.9 on IMDb, which is pretty high for that, I guess. Entertainment Weekly, Rolling Stone, a few others, they loved it. And that's the mini-series called Sons of Liberty.
I thought at first you were talking about my sex tape, but okay.
No, that was panned because of there was a poor performance in that. But anyways, in Sons of Liberty, you have a 3-part, 3-night event. Each episode was 2 hours long. And, of course, it's been made available. By the way, this is the History Channel. That's why I was flipping through, because hardly anybody stops and watches things on History Channel. I may be one of those weirdos, but I love those channels, the Geo channels, National Geographic's channels, and including the History Channel and a few others, because they play these oddball shows that are actually have really good production values and fairly high budgets, but nobody really watches them until they come out on DVD, and then everybody swears by them. So I think Sons of Liberty is one of these shows that are perfect for my particular theme, unwatched shows that really should be seen. So you have a cast of a bunch of young guys. Ben Barnes plays Sam Adams. You have Martin Sakis, who was just in the movie you recommended last week. He played the bad Russian fellow in
Equalizer.
Equalizer, right. Well, he plays General Thomas Cage, a British general, very nasty fellow. And then you have Henry Thomas playing John Adams. There's Paul Revere. Michael Raymond James plays him. And believe it or not, Dean Morris plays Ben Franklin. And I didn't think that would be a good matchup. Of course, you know him from Breaking Bad and a few other things. But he's probably one of the best Ben Franklins I think I've ever seen. Because they made him a womanizer and a drunk, but they didn't over-exaggerate that. He was also a doctor and a diplomat and an ambassador, and he lived in England for a while. And, right before the revolution began, he came back and helped start the Congress, the Continental Congress. And, so, I mean, that was really, really cool. He just did a really great job. Then they also had a fellow named Jason O'Mara, who I'm not familiar with, but they cast him to play George Washington. And I got to say, George Washington appears about halfway through the middle show, and he has such an impressive stage presence that you immediately respect and recognize that this is a man that's going to be great. And it's just an incredible acting job, I think. I don't know how they did it. Maybe it's the swelling music that starts underneath him every time he appears or whatever, but it's just this really amazing job of dignity that he portrays. And I like that character. And at the end of the third, of course, there's no spoilers here, because if you don't know your American history, shame on you. But they don't take it through the entire war. This is just the beginning of the war, all the way up. I mean, they do some key wars, including Bunker Hill, which is that's true. Chris in the audience points out that that there's not a lot of. They're not all Americans in Second Life, so you'll have to excuse me, some of my British friends, if I'm offending you, but we kicked your ass. Anyways, Bunker Hill was the biggest battle they filmed, and it was bloody, and I mean like Saving Private Ryan bloody. It was really super gross, and they shot out cannonballs with chains attached to them, between them. And it was slicing off people's heads, which they showed. Guys getting shot close up, point blank in the head with their brains spattering all over. It was pretty gross. I mean, and it came out of nowhere, because the show was, probably 70-80% politics, or at least, how the Congress was formed, and how, they showed the Boston Tea Party and a few other key scenes like that. But holy cow, I mean, I thought the acting was good. A couple of people, I should say, not a lot. A couple of people said that some of the acting was a little stiff, but I don't agree. I think you're dealing with people that's almost spoke a different language. I mean, it was more than 200 years ago, and some of them had British accents, some of them didn't, but those colony people, the colonizers, they started to lose their British accent at this point in time. So a lot of them didn't have British accents, but it's kind of hard to prove that, because we can't hear their spoken voice anyways. We can only see what they wrote. But then there was also little quips, little funny moments during the miniseries too, that I thought was not over the top, but yet, hysterically funny, considering that this was a historical event. Hysterically historical. One example is at the end when they're signing the Declaration of Independence. And, John Hancock's signature is huge on that document. Everybody else's, including Washington and Franklin's and all, are really small. But his is really big. So as he was the first to sign it, so he didn't have anything to gauge his signature against, and that's how they explained it. But what was funny was I think it was John Adams said behind him while he was signing it, "Did you have to sign so big?" Like he had some creative ego or something. But interesting enough, John Hancock was at least in this particular version was a key figure in this whole moment in our history. And they got this guy who was kind of this foppish rake. It's hard to tell. I mean, he was a womanizer still, but he was just a bit of a dandy, and he exaggerated everything he said. So I don't know what they're basing that on. Remember, this is a History Channel, so they kind of do their research. I mean, they're supposed to. That's what they're all about. But overall, as far as mini TV series goes, I give it a 4, maybe a 4.5. I'll probably go out and buy it on DVD. That's how much I enjoyed it, and watch it again. Highly recommend it if you can catch it. It's available on Amazon right now. I just looked it up. So get it, watch it, and enjoy a bit of American history done in a very entertaining way. You got any comments about it?
No, my only comment is Jason O'Mara, as you were saying, who is playing Washington. He's been on my radar for a long time because he was in the TV series Vegas with Dennis Quaid. But yeah, well, it's off the air now. But he's now gaining notoriety because he's been the voice of Batman recently in all the Warner Brothers animated Batman series. He's the new Batman.
He is terrific. He is the best George Washington I've ever seen.
And they announced not too long ago he's doing another mini-series. I think it's going to be on history, and he's going to be playing Ulysses S. Grant. So.
Oh, I could see it. I can see it.
Yeah, he's popping up all over. Somebody to watch.
Great. He must be a classically trained actor. He just has a poise about him. But, watch him. He's going to go far. All right, so what do you got?
The doctor hasn't really described it yet. He just gave me the topical ointment. Oh, you mean okay?
That's because you live so close to Vegas and you have no significant other.
So I was able to get out into the world a little bit and actually go to the theaters, and
they let you in?
Went. Yes, I saw Birdman.
The new big movie.
Yes,
big movie.
Yes, big film, getting a lot of buzz, winning lots of awards right now. The new Michael Keaton vehicle, kind of. The best way to describe Michael Keaton's performance in this is John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. It's his big comeback vehicle, and I'm not even.
By the way, he looked terrific in the extended previews that I've seen of the movie. Keaton looks probably the best he's ever acted, but that's the only take I have on it. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. The director, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that gentleman's name because I am going to butcher it horridly. But you've got Michael Keaton basically playing, I don't want to say himself, but it's very close. He's a washed-up actor who is known for playing a Batman-esque character. And he's kind of doing like a off-Broadway, on-Broadway production of this horrible play. And what's weird and catches you right from the beginning of the movie, and this isn't spoiling it, this is the opening scene, Michael Keaton is sitting in his dressing room in his tighty-whities, meditating, but he is floating about 4 feet off the ground.
I heard that it gets metaphysical at points when you don't know reality and magic.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't know if he's nuts. You don't know if there's something more to him because he's making things explode. He's throwing things across the room with his mind. Is it him having a nervous breakdown finally? Is it there's something more to him? He's always hearing this voice in his head, and it's supposed to be his character that he played on TV, Birdman, which is like a Batman. And eventually it starts to manifest itself, and Birdman is actually walking behind him. And it's one of those films that you don't know what's going on until the very, very last shot. Because you don't know if he's insane. You don't know if there's something more. You don't know if he has become Birdman, but it was good. Had a lot of people in it I don't like. Zach Galifianakis is in it, but thank God he's in it for a short amount of time.
Wait a minute. Why don't you like Zach? One of the funniest living men.
We're not even going down that road.
Oh my!
He needs to be shot in the head.
Wow.
Edward Norton's in it, who's a great actor. Emma Stone is in it. But the other thing that's interesting is the film is done as one continuous shot. Granted, it takes over the span of 24 hours, and the movie's only 2 hours long, but there's no obvious edits. It's one of those, you're talking to person one, and then it pans over to person two, and you follow person two out of the room, and that'll take you to person three, and then that one walks back to person one. So it's always kind of rotating like that. So there's no obvious end of scenes. You know what I'm saying? So that was very interesting to see in a film. Here's the thing. I don't know if I liked it. I'm gonna have to see it again. Right now, I'm gonna give it like a 3. That's just storyline.
It's a strong contender for the
well, here's
Oscar
the thing.
for Best Picture.
That's storyline wise. I'm gonna give it a 3. Michael Keaton's performance, that's a 5, if not doubling it to a 10. I mean, he was.
Do you think he'll win Best Actor?
I hope he does, because you know what? This is the best work I've seen out of him in a long time, and I've seen a lot of the films that are up this year, and granted, a lot of them I like Grand Budapest Hotel and stuff, but Keaton knocked it out of the park. He was fan-frickin-tastic. A lot of people said, why was this film snubbed and nobody was up for, supporting? You kind of understand when you watch it, because there really is no supporting cast. Edward Norton's in the film. He's in the film. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like he's a background character in a music video. It's all about Keaton and all about his character's just complete and utter meltdown. So I say go see it. It's an interesting watch. I'm very, very interested to see what you think of it once you see it. But,
it's on my list.
I recommend it just for his performance, man. Keaton just knocked it out. Fantastic. Great acting.
I've never been a huge fan of Michael Keaton, especially the Batman Michael Keaton, but I just think that it looks terrific in the clips I've seen. And it's on my list to see before the Academy Awards for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But I think you'll agree. Great acting there. So, what you got?
Well, sticking to this theme of little-known TV shows that are actually terrifically entertaining, I'm going to go with a show called Brain Games. Brain Games, which is another National Geographic network television show, I believe specifically on True, TRU. But I could be wrong there. It could be actually on several different. Whenever you deal with these shows on Nat Geo, they can be one of 15 different channels all at the same time.
Are you getting like royalties or something from these stations that I don't know about? Because you're like dropping a whole bunch of. Yeah, you're like name dropping.
Here's the thing. I mean, I'm legitimately watching these. I'm recording them, DVRing them, and watching them weekly, just as if they were regular shows. And I got to tell you, the entertainment value is so much better than the crap that I guess you get sick of the same old stuff on networks or even on, I hate to say it, but like AMC and HBO and all that. Those are great shows, but sometimes you need a break from those things. Here are alternatives to watch and enjoy life, maybe, at least on TV. So Brain Games, it's hosted by Jason Silva, which I think he has done other things in the past. If I'm not mistaken, some other National Geographic documentary stuff. A very charismatic, likable fellow. And then they have lots of experts, doctors, including mostly psychiatrists or psychologists or sociologists, whatever, who back him up with, all the important data and results from tests and things from the past. But the show is really. Have you heard of Luminosity, the web page that you go to make yourself smarter, to do brain exercises?
Yes.
Well, that costs money. Brain Games does the same thing, and it's free. Well, I guess you got to pay your cable company. But anyways, each show has a theme to it, and to give you an example, this week's past show that I just watched was about morality, how the brain makes moral decisions. And so they give you a series of tests or games that you play on the screen, on your TV screen. And it's fun to watch it with a group of people because then, everybody has their own opinions and whatever. But an example was, and this is just one small example because, like I said, there's about a dozen of these games. But let's say there's a train speeding towards a group of men that do not see it. You
Awesome.
see it. You see it, but you can't yell at them. They can't hear you. But you're standing next to a switch that can make the train go down another track. Unfortunately, on that other track, there's one person there. What do you do? Do you
I
pull
let
the
it
switch?
hit all the people and film it.
Do you pull the switch and kill one person to save four? Or do you let it plow down four people and that one person stays alive? Well, that's a pretty easy no-brainer. Most people have seen Star Trek. You know that give me that expression, the needs of the few.
The needs
What
of
is
the many outweigh the needs of the few.
That's it, right. However, Brain Games is a smart TV program, and they make it a morality issue by putting this little stint in, and that is, let's say that one person was your mother. Now what do you do?
Same thing. Let it kill the four people anyways. Film it with my camera phone.
Interestingly
and put it on
enough,
YouTube.
everybody that they interviewed on camera said they would, if they didn't know the person, they'd let that one person die and the four people would live. But when it became a relative, almost everybody said that they would kill the four people and not the relative. So it delves really deep into the human psyche and examines this stuff. And you're caught up in it because you're taking these tests along, with the people on camera. So it's a really clever show.
Is there a way to flip the switch halfway when the train was going through so that way the train derails, killing the four and the one and all the people on the train?
I can't give you any examples because I know that's what you do with them. Like a child, you play with them. Anyways, the show is terrifically well edited. There's lots of really cool graphics in it, and the games themselves are extremely fun. The nice thing you take away from this is a higher IQ because it actually makes you smarter. So I highly recommend. It's fun, it's interesting, it's entertaining. If you have kids, let the kids watch it. It's suitable for all ages and all class of people. So it's a great time. I give it a 5 out of 5. That's how much I really want to endorse this, and it's just a hoot. So that's what I got on Brain Games.
Wow. You'd let kids watch shows about people getting run over by trains, and you say
it's an example, you doofus.
All right. So I went and saw. I'm going to get yelled at for this. I saw Taken 3 in the theaters recently here. Just opened.
Why would I yell at that? I like the Taken movies.
Some people scream and yell about them. You know what?
Is it sensationalism? Is it predictable? Sure, yeah, but they're fun, good movies.
This one is different. That's the thing I like. Is there is no taken person, and I'm using air quotes. It's completely different formula than the other two films. Thank God. If you saw the trailer, you know that it's the Fiancom Jansen character, his ex-wife, is murdered. And he is framed for the murder. And it has nothing to do with the first two films. It has nothing to do with revenge on that aspect.
He made that very clear on The Tonight Show when he came on, and he told Jimmy Fallon just that this is unlike the first two movies.
Right. And what I liked about it, I mean, they put Forrest Whitaker in there. He wasn't necessary. He was good. You could tell
Forrest Whitaker is a great actor. Right.
He was unneeded. The only thing he was there for was to show the fact that the cops were stupid. I joke and I kid a lot, but Zoltan knows that I have a degree in criminal justice and I know a lot about police force and crime and everything. I screamed at the screen a lot because when police officers show up at a scene, they're not instantly going to pull out a gun and start shooting at people, nor are they going to start firing their weapons wildly down the street, or they're going to blow off somebody's lock who's not even involved in the thing to try to get through a gated area. That made me scream and yell a lot.
Isn't this kind of a hot topic in today's social media?
It was really annoying because, one police officer was driving his car and he starts slamming it into other cars trying to stop one other. And it's like, no, cops don't even really do that in the movies. But enough of that. It was a good flick. Liam Neeson, kick-ass as always. Very good and grueling. But my one thing that I really liked is in the other two Taken films, they always show something, even if it's very small and quick, his group of military friends. You know, in the first one, I think they're having a barbecue outside. In the second one, you know, they're just like at one of the guys' house playing pokers. And it's a short scene always with these guys. He involves them this time. So it's kind of cool to see all the other guys helping him out and kicking ass and shooting bad guys and doing things. So you got a lot more than just Liam Neeson running around. It was also nice that it was set in the United States. You know, you're not running in the back alleys of Kyrgyzstan or crap like that. But
You visited
it was good.
Kyrgyzstan?
I don't know. It was someplace over there in the Ukraine in the second one, and wherever they were in the first one, and yeah. But
Insert 7 syllables and scan at the end, or stan at the end.
But it was good. It was enjoyable. You know, Liam Neeson, as I said, really good. Fiancam Janssen.
Where would you rank it on the 3 movies?
It's the better out of the 3. It really is, because it has more
Wow.
storyline. It has more plot, and it has more heart. Because, yeah, it just.
Are they addressing that he's getting old, like all of these?
Yeah, they do. They you know what? There was a part where he beats the crap out of some guys, and I was almost expecting him to drop the line from Lethal Weapon of "I'm getting too old for this shit," you know, because you could just.
He said
tell
on the Tonight Show that he did all of his own physical stunts. He didn't do any of the driving or anything like that, but he did all the fighting scenes, and he hurt himself. He said he bruised a rib or broke a rib or something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
The only thing, and I don't know if this is a good thing or not, is they said that this was the third and final one, which is fine, but now Neeson's out saying, I wouldn't mind doing a fourth one. Because the films are so cheap.
He said he wasn't going to do a third one, and Jimmy Fallon asked him, you know, you did say you weren't going to do a third one. What changed your mind? And Neeson said, the script. I really like this.
Yeah, it's a good script. So, but I highly recommend it. You know, I give it like a 4. I'm not going to say it's, you know, Citizen Kane or anything, but I'll give it a 4. It's good watch, just something fun to watch. So, yeah.
Okay,
so
well then
let me in the theater twice.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you didn't pirate these movies and watch them in your own comforted little apartment nest that you have.
That's illegal, sir. I work for the government. That would be illegal.
Okay. All right. Anyways, so yeah, I'll end with my last pick of a secret show that nobody knows about, and hopefully you guys will give them a fair shake and actually watch them. This one is on the True Network. I know that for a fact, and I did a little research while we were talking here, and the Brain Games is actually on National Geographic, the main channel. I watch it on Nat Geo HD. But this show is on True, and it's called the Carbonaro Effect. Are you aware of this at all, Lionheart?
I am very aware of this show. Yes, I don't have the channel out here anymore in the West Coast, but I know of the show.
Okay. Well, growing up, this show appeals to me on 2 levels. The first level, it appeals to me because I was a huge Candid Camera fan. Yes, I'm that old, but most of the ones that I watched were reruns. But Candid Camera was a great show. It was one of the first reality TV shows showing, you know, clips of people being fooled on camera and then their reaction to that. So on that level, that's kind of what the Carbonaro Effect is. It's a hidden camera show. But on the second level, as many of you know, I'm a magician in real life. It's what I do. And the host or the person in the show, actually he's the only one in the show, Michael Carbonaro, is a professional magician. So he uses magic, illusions, tricks, misdirection, big stage type of things. Some of them are small, some of them are big, to fool people on camera. And these poor souls come in and they're so flabbergasted. It actually has become, instead of kind of a hidden camera, you're surprised you're on camera type of show, it's more of the how far can you take people, you know, before they realize there's something that can't be right. And most of the people, the victims, I'll call them, they buy into the stuff that he's doing, and he convinces them that what they just saw was reality. And that's what I find the funniest. I mean, I don't know if these people are just ignorant or they're too afraid to admit that what they're seeing is not possible, humanly possible. But he somehow threads and sidesteps their questions and threads reality into it, so it looks like what they're seeing is real, and it's just mind-blowing. And the magic is really fun, and he never explains how the magic tricks are done, so there's that level of entertainment too. But here's an example, and I hate to use examples with you because you'll jump on it, but I will anyways. The very last episode that I watched, a lady came in, and she just got the job to work in a pet grooming place, and Michael was one of the teachers or whatever. So he gets this little dog. I don't know what kind of little furry dog it was, and a live dog, and it's walking around on the table, and they have to groom the dog. So he's combing it and all. He's like, look, it would be a lot faster if you got that vacuum cleaner over there and vacuumed the dog's fur. So he picks the dog up and he's holding it like in a towel, and the lady begins to turns the vacuum cleaner on, and he's combing out fur and dropping it into the hose of the vacuum cleaner. Well, he's combing out more and more fur until eventually there's no dog left. And he's like, where'd the dog go? And the lady's like, what? Oh my God, I think we sucked it up in the vacuum cleaner. Understand that the hose is like an inch round. And so she's freaking out, and she's praying to God. She's like, oh Jesus, please let that little dog be okay. She's kind of a heavy-set black lady, and she's like freaking out. Well, Michael has her bring the can up onto the counter, and he opens up the vacuum cleaner can, and the little dog is inside it, and he comes hopping out as happy as can be. And the lady buys it and believes that that's actually just occurred. So it's those kind of mind-blowing special effect magic tricks, along with a candid camera audience hysterical reaction, that I think makes this one of the best shows on TV. IMDb gives it a 7.6. I think Michael Carbonaro is extremely talented. He's a great magician. He's a good host. He's very, very convincing. I guess he's a great liar. But anyways, I give it a 4.5, maybe even a 5, as one of those secret shows that nobody watches, but really, really good entertainment. Have you seen any of it, Lionheart, at all?
Not to go into a long rant about cable, but when it first came on, I saw a little bit of it. The ones where he was doing the whole with the purses and putting all the items inside of a vending machine. We were able to see like the first, I want to say 4 or 5 episodes, and then there was a falling out between the cable networks and certain studios. And so we don't have those channels out here on this coast right now. So yeah.
Well, maybe you can catch it on the internet somewhere. I don't know. I think he's coming out. They're probably going to be out on disc if they're not already, because they're several seasons into it already. So I wish I could tell you when any of these shows air. Well, the Sons of Liberty is over with now, but the other 2 shows that I recommended, it's a crapshoot. Hit the DVR and hope for the best, but generally it's a crapshoot. So, but if you can find them and you can watch them, I think you'll be very, very entertained. Just like when you watch our show, don't you think our show is extremely entertaining? Audience,
it better be to the people, or else we're doing something wrong.
Well, we're doing everything wrong, I'm sure.
We're doing everything right.
Well, you know what? There's people out there that may want some knowledge on what they should see, and there's a lot of stuff to be sorted through, and I think we make that a little easier for them. It's not just our opinions, by the way. We are reviewing things that are popular or interesting or different. So we're not just know-it-alls, which I think we're that too, but we're helping people out there. And by the way, I know there's a lot of audience members that are watching us and don't say anything, either in Second Life or on live stream or on YouTube, like Rich. I know you were watching. You told me you watch, Richard, and his wife, Debbie. Debbie, if you're watching this, you want to do a shout-out, Lionheart, while we're doing this, and tag those people that are afraid to say anything about our show?
Like, Jim and all the people I work with and everything that watch the show, no, I wouldn't want to say anything about those people and single them out. Not at
No,
all. No.
not at all. But we know you're out there. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, catch us every other Wednesday on live stream. We tape live in Second Life. I am Zoltan Mint, or email me. Look for the links. Join our group on YouTube. It's the Angry and Ornery channel. And we hope to see you in 2 weeks when we do episode 21, which I think is going to be an adult episode. Either way, we'll see you then. Bye, Lenny. See you in the funnies.